everyone, I'm Shiv Mathur. Uh, Going to talk about art of dying. We all have heard of art of living, but we also should understand what is art of dying actually, because it's about life and death, and the way we live is equally important the way we die, because the way we live depends upon how we die. So both are actually one and the same thing. And the art of living is important to understand that how do we end our life. I mean, how the life should end. Not that we end our life, but how the life should end and how should be the exit. So the thing is, how do we have a graceful and a peaceful exit, and how to overcome the fear of death, how to understand death as an event, not see as that losing something and having that kind of fear that we are going to, that extreme fear of dying is there. So much attachment we have with this body, with this world, with this external positions. We don't see life as a journey, so we see life as never ending, and that's a problem, because we are so attached. We have so many desires and expectations still alive, so many unfulfilled desires. And how do you become desireless? All that is actually kind of art of living, and also art of dying, because when you die you should be fulfilled. Your life should actually always be fulfilled. Fulfilled means that there are phases of life. We have childhood, we have householder, and after householder we have fulfilled all the worldly responsibilities. So that's the time we should be fulfilled, because fulfilled means we have fulfilled all the worldly requirements, and once the worldly requirements are fulfilled, there should not be any desire left. The only desire should be that do I still have any worldly responsibility left? Do I have something to give back to the society? Am I still of some value to this whole system, or I am fulfilled and I have nothing else left? Society doesn't need me, and probably I don't need the society now. So then is it time that you've done your things on this planet, and is it time to finish that earth experience, and is it a time that you start planning that, okay, now I'm ready to leave? You may leave in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, that you don't know, but you are mentally prepared to leave. So this is what is actually art of dying, that once you are fulfilled with your worldly responsibility, and once you understand that you are really fulfilled and there is no value which your world is, even though if you have a lot of value, but world is somehow not able to take it, and like everybody has some value, so probably your value is not really needed at this point of time, because people are probably seeking something else. People are seeking materialistic things, and you are trying to offer something which is very deep, spiritually deep, about humanity. So maybe at this point of time you are not really valued, and or anything else, like you did some marvelous job, professional life, you did some great job as a householder, now you are not needed. So everybody has a different situation. You have to recognize that what is that I am giving back, what is the reason for being on this planet now at this point of time, and henceforth, and from now onwards, at this stage of life and forward looking, what exactly is my value on this earth? How should I sustain? What should be the mode of living? And the most important thing is that now, once you realize that so you look forward that now you make up your mind that I am now ready to leave. So the attachment to this body, the fear of death, all that goes away. If you understand this, that you have no more desires left, you are not seeking but externally in the materialistic world, you have fulfilled all your karmas which were related to your responsibilities. Now you see there are no responsibilities left, not your personal family responsibility, but toward the society. The society doesn't seem to be needing you, so your requirement on this planet is over. So be ready to exit. That exit can happen anytime. That is undefined. You may live for another 30 years, 40 years, 20 years. So I'm not saying that you can actually time your exit. But if you now look, if you understand this, that be that one should be now ready to exit, should be looking forward to exit, and should be thinking about actually this cosmic science and about the creation of universe, spending time on that. See how much more, how much knowledge can you gain, real knowledge can you gain, what are the ways, and that's the focus one should bring to understanding life more deeply, understanding this creation. How can you really understand this creation? We have heard so many stories about past ancient times and yogis and rishis and all kind of science, but scriptures, but how do you get that knowledge yourself? So that's one area one can actually work on, and that can only happen if you are able to simplify your life totally. Because if you're still engaged in too many things about the worldly things, even if you're not giving to the society, you are engaged in things about your own personal needs, and you make that also complicated, then you will be left with very less time to really introspect and contemplate and meditate about this knowledge which you want to gain and before you leave this planet. So it's like getting ready for a liberation or moksha. So there is some focus time, very dedicated time needed for that without any interruption. But if you make your life complicated, still complicated, there will be interruptions, and still you won't have time to really go inside, deep inside, meditate, contemplate, and think about the whole science behind the creation. So this is a very interesting subject to dwell into, and you can get a lot of logical answers to many things. Not all the answers. There is infinite. We have limitations, sensory limitations. So we have dimensional limitation due to sensory limitations. So that aspect is also there. But how can you? Is there any possibility of changing your dimensions, changing your some hidden sensory abilities? That has to be explored, and gradually probably it may happen. Now, can you time your death? That's something very, very important to understand, because I've been hearing about samadhi. So recently Pilot Baba passed away on 20th of August, and he has demonstrated taking samadhi. But the irony is that he should have taken a samadhi when he was exiting. He was unwell. So rather than going this way when you are sick in the last days, and where is your samadhi gone? Where is your ability to? And if you really took samadhi, you should be able to go leave the body with samadhi. Only yogi which I am aware of who took real samadhi and exited his body through samadhi was Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh. Swami Shivananda's live video is there of taking samadhi. So I haven't heard of any other yogi who actually took samadhi. Some of the yogis, they knew when they will exit. They knew the time, they knew the day and time, what will happen to them. Like Tatwale Baba had told 2 years before that after 2 years he'll be shot, and 2 days before that he told. That's what I've heard. But yogi taking samadhi is willfully leaving the body, and that we have only heard maybe in scriptures and these stories, and it's only heard, like we've not seen anyone really taking samadhi. So Swami Shivananda is one yogi. So that still proves that this through yogic techniques and through mind control, through the control of subconscious and involuntary actions, we can actually exit from this body. So those yogis used to time it. They used to time leaving this. So leaving this body, death is not actually a death. It is just leaving this dimension and moving into the different dimension. The soul moves to a different dimension. So it's only timing your exit that, okay, fine, I've had my experience on this earth, and now I think it's time for me to leave this dimension. So it is leaving dimension. You are actually leaving a dimension. So if you really understand this, you will not see death as a death at all. You will only see that my journey is now ending. You really understand it so well that your journey is really over now, and it's time to go. Like when you travel somewhere, you go and spend few days, and you realize that okay, I've seen enough of this place, and I don't need more time. Like I went to some place, I went to Austria, Salzburg for 4 days. I heard it's a beautiful place, but I realized that you can see the whole of Salzburg in half a day, and I was there for 4 days, so I didn't know. So then I decided to leave one day earlier. I said, let me go ahead now. So the thing is, this journey should also be seen like that, that you have done everything, because we are always unfulfilled. The problem is we are constantly looking externally. We are driven by our sensory and senses, and driven by our conditioning, the selfish, egoistic, materialistic, ignorant conditioning. We are ignorant. We are so ignorant that we are as good as fools. So, and I was recently watching Jain theories, Mahavir's, about Kal Chakra, the timeline, and how during the Kal what will happen. So that's another whole mystic wisdom available, and whether you can believe it or not, a lot of things sound logical. So you can correlate with what you are thinking, what you are analyzing. So there is a lot of correlation available in different scriptures, different cults and religions. So that's something different. You want to do it. So the point is that this journey has to be exited, and can you really time your exit through samadhi? That's what needs to be understood. So my goal is to really understand how samadhi can be taken and how you can exit. Like in this Bhagwan Mahavir's discourse, the scripture only, I was listening that the soul enters and has possibility of 5 modes of exit. It can exit from lower part, from this part, and the best is if you're evolved, it will go up from the upper part. But what sense does it make? I really don't know. But point is, the soul can exit, and you can make the soul exit at your will if you have achieved that, mastered that, understood that science, that yogic science, you can call it yogic science of leaving the body. So that's something which I'm going to be working on, and this is a very slow path. How will that happen? I really don't know. And the thing is, they say that there are so many realized gurus, but none have been able to. There's so many yogis in the Himalayas, not those which I have not found. They must be those yogis who must be capable, but those I've come across, they are still living. They don't have that capability of leaving the body. They have gone into deep meditation, they have gone into certain dimensions, but probably they could not exit at their will. So the art of dying is that how do you first of all overcome the fear of death, understand that we are fulfilled and now we are ready to exit. There's nothing which is holding us from not exiting. So you are ready to exit. So kind of you have done it, like you now reach actual mental nirvana. That's one thing. Second thing is how to live in this, on this earth, on this planet, to be healthy. So that's one very important thing, healthy from body and mind. So what kind of things you should be doing when you're living in a nirvana state, and what all is needed for mind and body. So mind should be free from all thoughts and free from all worldly things, basically all desires. That's why you will feel fulfilled. And body also needs to be taken care of. So there has to be some fine balance needed, because you also need to conserve your energy. You don't have to do extra physical activity, too much physical activity for making your body too fit, because when you make your body too fit, it is physically more energetic, and it needs different kind of maintenance from food intake perspective, from exercise intake perspective. That will probably interfere with your mental well-being, because your mind will become active. And do you really want your mind active? So you have to find a balance there where you also need time for this kind of analysis and self-inquiry. So if you heard that yogis in the Himalayas, they ate once a day, and the energy is very high over there. The water and the air provides a great amount of energy. So it's very different over there, but they are not doing some great exercises. They are only sustaining, conserving their energy. So I'm doing some experiments, and I have seen that if I become overactive about talk about little more physical fitness, which may not be needed, and you have to strike some balance, because when you need work on more physical fitness, your body demands more food intake, and then you are actually engulfed in managing the body part and the mind gets neglected. So you have to bring a balance. And so the point is that this is also a very important aspect, that how do you persist, and you should be so confident, so fearless, that you should know that your mind and body will remain very, very healthy, and you have to work for that, because you have to really understand how to work for that. So solitude is very, very important ingredient in this path. On this path, solitude is very, very you have to disconnect from the external world, literally a lot, because the more you connect with the external world, because as you increase your activity, so your activities with the external world, even if you're exercising, if you're running around for your needs, physical needs, which are growing, suppose, and if you are connecting with more people, again the solitude goes away, and that solitude goes away, it pulls you back into that world, and it will make you unstable, because you are creating complexities, and you are giving your time to more time into external world, and you are not getting time for conserving your energy. So your conservation is not happening. Conservation is very, very important, because only when you conserve, so you are channelizing the energy to find out something more deep, scientifically more deep, for wisdom and knowledge, and this can be a very good path. So I think I have explained what exactly I meant by art of dying. The best thing is, you are fulfilled, you're ready to go. Second is, can you control your exit? Can you time your exit? If you can time your exit, nothing like it. So that's something, if one can achieve, is really a realized person. Otherwise, all others are somewhere stuck and not really even thought like this. They are just passing their time and not able to make effort, and probably we don't know about those yogis who might be existing. So probably they are in a different realm and different plane and different place on the planet, which is probably inaccessible to us. And so that's something, a mystery to me. And if I find something about that, I know one guy who goes to Tapovan ahead of Gangotri every year, and he says he finds many yogis over there. So I got to connect with him. I'm trying to connect with him. He's from France. He's a big businessman. He owns a pharma company. He comes for the last 25 years. He's coming to India. His son is basically managing the show there, but he's more into the spiritual aspect. So I have to connect with him, because I want to know what kind of yogis, because I haven't heard of so many yogis in Tapovan. And when I heard him say somewhere that he meets many yogis in Tapovan, which is like, so there are some yogis which are yet to be explored by most of the people who are traveling even up to Tapovan, but he goes and spends quite a few days in Tapovan every year. So definitely he must be able to meet, and that's what. Thank you.